And we have returned. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. I wish you a happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Stay tuned. We're going to have a dramatic reading of the Declaration of Independence here coming up after this segment. 1776 was a very difficult year for the Americans. It was a particularly difficult year for Thomas Jefferson. Within months of the death of his daughter, his beloved mother passed away, and his wife became extremely ill. His concern over the fate of this country and the state of Virginia gave him severe migraines. They had no meds or health care back then, you know. The severe migraines that would last for weeks at a time. But Thomas Jefferson was not a man easily deterred. No matter the adversity, he pressed forward in his determination to see America's liberation from British rule. How many of us today would say, I don't have time. We're only one person. I can't afford to devote my life to politics. How many of us are willing to sacrifice as these founding fathers did? Let's continue with Jefferson. These were the conditions of Jefferson's life when he came to be the author of the Declaration of Independence. For 17 days, he wrestled with the task of laying on paper the fundamental ancient principles, the laws of nature and of nature's God. Jefferson felt the weight of this profound responsibility on the face of much personal distress, yet he forged on. He forged ahead. In moments of self-doubt, Jefferson, an accomplished violinist, would often turn to the instrument to calm his mind and clear his thoughts. As he would play, anxiety would fade and inspiration would again flood into his mind, enabling his pen to drip with inspiration upon the page. What do you do in these moments? Or do you have such moments of concern over your family and this country? I'm not accomplished by any means, but there are times when I turn to music. I play the piano a little bit and I sing my favorite hymns, and they seem to bring me some calm. I try to escape the chaos of now and turn to God. In this way, do you? What do you do? Let's go back to Jefferson. Once he completed his task, Jefferson communicated the document first to John Adams and Benjamin Franklin, requesting their wisdom because he said they were the two members of whose judgment and amendments I wish most to have the benefit. Their alterations were only 2 or 3. Moving the document forward was a little bit of a task. A light to all mankind, the Declaration of Independence. With no further alterations, the Declaration of Independence by the committee, the sacred document was presented to John Hancock and the rest of the Continental Congress, where it met with a storm of debate. Tossed to and fro, this fragile document finally rested on the reverent waters of calm, where among the many changes made, none were found to alter the ancient principles that Jefferson had worked so hard to document. These principles would now sit perched upon a hill as a light to all mankind. The words laid on parchment. The words were laid on parchment over 2 centuries ago. They were not rhetoric, but represented a genuine commitment to original principles. A commitment that was tested on the battlefields of liberty as the signers, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, mutually pledged to each other their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors. How many of us today would do such a thing? Many of them lost their lives or the lives of their loved ones, someone in their family, a close friend. Many of them ended up broke and poor, losing their businesses and all their wealth. But not one compromised. Out of 56, not one of them compromised or gave up their sacred honor. They were committed together, unlike today's Congress, who refuse to work together for liberty or independence or Constitution. They became very real. This became very real as the Revolutionary War overshadowed the land with the might of the British Empire. We remember the words of the national anthem that were inspired by Francis Scott Key as he watched the bombarding of Fort Henry as the British tried to completely annihilate the fort. You know, it's amazing to me. We should not have won this Revolutionary War in all logic and reasoning. Yesterday, we talked about the faith of these founding fathers and how they stood together. Today, we're going to read the document that didn't win the independence. The shedding of blood won the independence. So as you listen to the reading of our Declaration of Independence here in just a little bit, note that the paper did not win your independence, but the blood of many founding fathers and founding fighters as they miraculously defeated a tyrannical king. Will we today demand such dependence from King Government Incorporated? The founding fathers paved the way with their blood and this document and our Constitution. I saw this one time on YouTube. By the way, I have a YouTube channel now. You can go to YouTube channel. Just put in CSC Talk Radio with Beth Ann, and it'll bring it up, and we're putting the monologues on there. It's for a start. But the Pledge of Allegiance was given by Red Skelton. I, which means me, an individual, committee of one, pledge, dedicate all my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and devotion to the flag or our standard old glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, this is respect because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. Of the united, meaning we all come together. States, individual communities that have united with pride and dignity and purpose, all divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, which is love of country, of America. And to the Republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. Government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people. For which it stands, one nation under God, meeting so blessed by God, with liberty, which is freedom and the right of power to live one's own life without threat or fear of some sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle or quality of dealing fairly with others, for all, which means it's as much your country as it is mine. United. Be a brave republic, for your children and your grandchildren depend on you for their liberty, their independence, and freedom. Today, we celebrate the miracle of independence. It is heavy on our shoulders, just as it was on Thomas Jefferson